Hello, my friends. Welcome back. So happy to have you on this awesome Tuesday on the heels of attending an amazing Oprah event. It was the 2020 Vision Tour and it delivered. There was an impressive array of people, and we were in the neatest seats, although they were a little interesting because they were straight up and down. There was 3 rows behind us and then the ceiling. So we were in that true bird's eye view, and we're able to, kind of glean the energy of the entire place. There was 15,000 people there, and it was just moving to sense and feel the vibration of all the energy of everybody in there. I mean, not just Queen O, but the people she brought, the attendees, everything. It was truly amazing. John, can you... I swear we were so focused on making sure the animals weren't being silly today, and there's a cat trying to break into the closet. So
that was my speakers going.
You thought it was the speakers.
Headphones.
Oh man, silly. So I just want to bring to you today the full essence of everything I gleaned from that experience, whether it comes through vibrationally or verbally. Know that that is in my energetic backpack now, and I want to bring it forward to you. Just kind of feel like a little knocking on my door right away, just to acknowledge the power of group focus, whether it's 15,000 people or our vibe tribe. When we get a synergy going with a common intention, it amplifies. It's co-creation. It's kind of what we're here for. So we've got this vibe plane going on where we're, consciousness layers, all the connections up there. And then we come down here in the earthly plane and connect with other humans. And that like-minded frequency was just so dominant there. It was incredible to me the way they even opened with a group called Daybreak. And they started working through different layers with motion. And they went through the Roy G. Biv rainbow right out of the gate with all these different elements. And I just I knew I was at home and in the right place. And it felt like an homage to our 7 vibe guides, which hook up with the Roy G. Biv. And I don't know, I was vibing it, guys. So hopefully we can, like I said, revel in that and let it come through today as part of our session. So going to open with our max vibe session, which is our intention to blend with higher self energy, see what comes through for our joy and fun and play in the now. So I'm just going to kind of scoot back a little bit, and I've got this prayer posture with open fingers as an opening. And I've got my feet in a wide posture sitting, and it feels like a claiming space energy with a little bit of a bounce in the spine and the body, almost like a hunkered down, but in a pre-jump energy, just kind of I don't know what the actual term is for that, but before you jump, you make a space before. So let's link up to that consciousness of potential pre-jump, just a little toning here. Seeing an apple color, which actually in this instance felt like a green apple color, right here in between my fingertips. And just for the sake of toning, we're going to breathe. I'm getting, kind of a little or a lot of a sway coming in here. And I want to take that green apple energy right into the throat, down into the stomach. So do a couple. Regular exhale. Okay, now an orange tone from the actual fruit orange. And that one's going to go right in at the base of the throat. And it's just going to hang there, and you'll do a regular exhale. Try a couple. Extending out a piece of energy. In your mind's eye, I want you to just grab it. It feels like an orange tone, which if you're going to go through chakra layers, there might be some data on that, but just grab the color in your mind's eye for a second. Hold it a little bit, that orange energy. Little flipping gear, my sacrum frequency is coming in. I've had an interesting dance with color red for a while, and that was really dominant this weekend on integration for me. And I know through kind of, again, through the chakra realms, which I don't have official training on, but just a little bit of awareness that sacral root energy is linked there. It's sort of the power of the body. It's sort of the ability to kind of hold your stance, your posture, your who, in your who, what, when, where, why, how, and because you vibe so. So I'm just holding a little tone here for myself, for you, for anyone watching, that we're just intending that we want to have our sacrum, that triangle bone between our hip bones, and our who elements linking up. And because my friends that were on the trip with me were aware that I was playing with a little bit of red, it just kept coming up and coming up. And we were noticing and observing and playing, and it just became so easy to get fascinated with it. And if you have, I don't want to say aversion to, but interest in, or you feel like a color's coming to you for a reason, let those be easy peasy strawberries. Let it help you. I'm being drawn to something in this kind of phrase and tone. When I work on my who am I, what am I, all of the dances we do in the 7, my who has unfolded into a layer recently where it's sort of like descriptive elements and sort of how I feel. And I guess one of the layers that's come up was that I am South Dakota Mary. And then last night in the hot tub, it was like South Dakota Strawberry Mary. It kind of came in. It was just kind of cute, and I was laughing. But where this is coming through is on the trip back yesterday, there was a couple fun little stories around keychain energy that were poignant. But the one that I'm linking to right now was the fact that I bought one for myself and the other girls I was traveling with, and it says Mary on it, and it blinks your name. It's so cheesy, but just a little a little souvenir, I guess you would say. But last night I noticed that the Mary is blinking kind of in a red color, and it might almost even be a little bit of the pink too, which those are cousins. And on the back, it says South Dakota because we bought it in South Dakota. And it just sort of was another little strawberry for me on that amplification of who am I? Felt an impulse to buy it, although it was truly not a necessity. It was just a fun little play. And when you let yourself go into those layers, then later get some toning on it, it's really rewarding to trust the impulse in the moment. In fact, that was probably one of the most interesting things about the Oprah experience was her verbiage around trusting impulses. She talked about them as they start as a whisper, then they turn into a knock, then you may feel a brick on your head, and then it might feel like a brick wall. And I like to think that I'm so much more available to notice the whispers than I ever have been in my life, and I try to get better at it every day. That's why I daily vibe practice, to be able to dance on that level. And I hope if you're in your world right now and you're, feeling a brick in the face or a brick wall, you'll take that for what it is, that there was very likely other layers of self communicating before you needed that big push, and that those are okay too. I've had the brick wall experiences, but I now choose to live in that lighter element as much as possible. There is no perfection, guys. There's just working towards what feels good around hearing the whispers, as Oprah calls them, the impulses, as Abraham calls them, the voices, maybe, as I call them. And let's just intend in our now. That's one of the best ways to play this energy game, is to be calm and curious enough to hear your voices. Had another really cool element with that linked up yesterday. Kind of gleaning some of the data here, reorganizing it in my mind. But about when you first wake up in the morning, we had some conversation about that confirmation to get out of bed and meditate. And I know when it's time to get up, because what will happen is I'll wake up, and if I can catch a dream layer that feels like interesting to me, and I want to just like work it a little bit, I'll kind of work it a little bit while it's really fresh, just wake up and feel it. And then I know it's time to meditate. But sometimes I'll think, oh, I'm ready to kind of fall back asleep. If I fall back asleep, cool. If I don't, and the voices start, the growly ones, the rote ones, then I really acknowledge, okay, no thank you to that. And then I purposely will either sit up in bed or go do the necessaries and then get in the right place and start jumping into that meditation. So I just want to reconfirm how important that is in setting tone for your whole day. In fact, the Abraham I was listening to this morning was linking to that. I'm going to post it in our private Facebook group later because it just felt so exact for what I'm feeling, sensing, and want to deliver. And even when we were at the Oprah experience, we did a meditation during there. We were led. And you could feel the whole arena shift with what Abraham would call receiving mode, where we went from shh to calm and curious. In fact, you know how much I love to kind of catch layers from animals as I'm doing my morning walk? This morning, the crows or ravens, forgive me, I'm not exactly always sure which one's which when I see them, but I think it was more raven because it was big, was caw, 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 doing all these things. And when I vibrationally interpreted it, it was talk, 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 talk. And I just had to laugh because I talked for 7 hours yesterday. Didn't really talk on the road back. Didn't really talk much the day before, but talked and listened a ton the day before that. And then 7 hours on the way down. And it was just like, there's been a lot of brewing. And so the birds were communicating to me what was my most recent set point around talk. So after Vibe Tribe today, I'm going to allow myself to go back in, settle, and get my listening back on point. Although we're doing it in the now, sometimes we just need to give ourselves more space for that energy. So let's wrap a few more things into our intention here before we start playing with our friends. I want a soft cloud-like energetic coming in. See it kind of floating in from the right in your mind's eye. And I want to see a purple cloud and a blue cloud on a green backdrop. Wow. So green sky, purple and blue cloud. Okay, I'm just going to float with that for a little bit. Try it with yourself. Feels like the blue cloud's coming in and it's going all the way around my head. And I feel a little vibe of almost like a sucking motion where it's like, let's take some of that chatter out. And then that one's going to fade off. I'm going to let the pink cloud come over. And this one goes around my whole body. And it's a softening energy. I feel a little kind of movement and pulse going on there. Maybe you do too. Kind of a little ellipses in my body happening. That's not the word. Ellipticals in my body. It feels like a tuning and a reset. Or oh yeah. This is good. Like a syncing up back with what is my toning here in the Black Hills. A reset from fast-paced, like a city tone. And a choice to unhook from any vibrational maybe struggle or resistance or awareness that isn't super pleasing, you know, from travel or people or whatever, all those things that come in. Example, the first night we got there, all I wanted to do was go to the pool. And, you know, since everything's attraction, there was no fingers to point, but the screaming kids in the pool gave me something to chew on a little bit. So I did my very best there. And then I said, that's okay. I don't have to hang here any longer. I can reset myself. And so it feels like that pink cloud energy is just kind of a trick of the trade as far as hooking up to want it again. Okay, last piece here is that green sky coming in, and it's connecting on this plane with me this way. So almost like a front to back division. I'm feeling it linking in there. And my vibe choice on it is to lean forward. And we're just kind of, I often talk about future in my vibe as right to left. You can also use it as front body and back body. Again, these are just arbitrary layers, but it feels like let's lean into the forward frequency. No real need to chew up every single facet of the experience because you can't remember it all no matter what it is, whether you went to a thing or I went to a thing. It's more about catching the tone of it. I've been such an avid note taker in my life, and there really wasn't even an option to do that at this. And I feel it's just extra important to just catch the feeling of it. You know how they say, you don't always remember what people say, but you remember how they made you feel. That's the essence or the tone I want to take away from this experience. I don't have to verbatim quote Oprah or anybody else that was speaking there, but I can tone with it and have it as a resource for me, an empowerment feeling, a blended feeling. Because higher self got the whole thing, remembers all of it. And if you need to link into anything in your world, connect to your higher you and say, help me. I want to hear this. I want to sense this. I want to tone with this. It's all about vibration, which is a tone. Okay, going to take, in my mind's eye, some of our fun little silly stuff, vibrational magic, grabbing that out of my backpack, and it's like sprinkles all over me and you. Just a cascading element of that for fun, because I insist and expect magic to be at my fingertips all day long. Join me there if it feels good. And let's switch gears, start getting kind of vibed back here to hang with some friends. I'll take a breath.